Here we fucking go. This is just information about me, my purpose, and how sales changed my fucking life. So really starts back a couple of years ago. I was completely burnt out. It's fucked. Started multiple businesses, and every time I just had to keep on going back into sales. But now I live in Bali, close deals from my laptop. I help other people do the same. Helped about 100 people so far this year get into sales, change their lives, change their mindsets, and really just fucking take life by the fucking balls. So, if you want any mentorship, if you want a fucking shit hot community and access to real remote sales roles, because there's fucking tons of them, getting the role is not hard. You can DM me on Instagram Closer, or if you're still not ready and you still want more shit, then you can just fucking, I don't know, do the free mini course in the description if you still want more value and more shit. So, what I want to do is just like run this as a big fucking boot camp, Billy boot camp, and it would just go from everything from going right to the start, no fucking around, like going into my purpose, how to learn a skill as a whole, the mindset shift you need, how to build your LinkedIn, how to build a bit of a brand on Instagram to get these roles as well. Then I'll deep dive into the setting role, deep dive into discovery calls and asking the right questions. Then we'll go into pitching, objection handling, advanced objection handling, how to get hired, mastering your energy, building confidence, time management, emotional control, and nervous system management, and then how to close a call from start to finish, so the full fucking scale, how to scale from a setter to a closer to a consultant, then building your authority on social media, banging in some of the spiritual side of sales, and then finally designing your freedom lifestyle. So it should be like a 20-day ordeal. Obviously, it's going to take you more than 20 days to fucking crush this, but that's just what I want to do. That's what we're fucking going to do. And then we'll jump into it. This first video is going to be all about me and my backstory. So it's going to be a bit of a long one. If you already know about me, feel free to listen in a little bit longer. But before, like, I've always been broke and always been in sales. The only time I wasn't fucking broke was when I was fucking making money with sales. And even then, I was still fucking broke because I was just partying and spending all the money I fucking earned on getting fuck out my face, living abroad, having a good time. Nowadays, the world has changed. I'm 30 years old. I'm 31 next month, sorry. People who are watching this who are fucking younger or older than me, whatever it is, will know that most people coming up nowadays ain't fucking partying throughout their 20s. They ain't doing it. Whereas that was the path that I chose and it opened a lot of doors. But now I'm helping people to fucking get rid of all the bullshit. They don't have to do the 10-year sales journey to get to where I am. So for me, I started in sales many moons ago. I've always been a coach. I've always been teaching people stuff. So I taught people to sail, taught people to windsurf, wakeboard, taught people to scuba dive. Like there was a water sport that I wanted to teach, and I'd teach it and did that in Greece. And then what I started to see is what we do is sell private lessons. So when I'm seeing people sell private lessons, I'm like, right, I'm like, you get commission when you sell that. Like, yeah. So how much? Is like I get £11 per hour that I sell. And bearing in mind when we're working in Greece, we're making like £1 an hour, bro. It was fucked. It was like 70 quid a week, 60-hour days, 6 days a week. Fucked. So to make fucking 11 quid for 1 hour's work, it was like, rascal, this is fucking rude. So what we'd do is then we'd ask our rotor to be empty. And when your rotor's empty, you can then fill it full of private lessons. So me and another guy, John Moday, who's actually one of the coaches in Cowboy Closers, we would just fucking pepper it. We'd be like, give us all the introductory courses. So there's only 1 hour, you give people a taste, and then boom, private lesson, private lesson, private lesson. You get like discount if you book 3, but you still get your commissions. So that's when I first started in sales, was back when I was like 19, 20, 21. After that, I went to work in a bar in the winter, and you know what it's like when you're working in a bar. And I tell you these backstories because a lot of people who want to get into sales think I haven't got sales experience. You do. You just don't know it yet. If you've been a tradie, you've good energy, and people just love you because you're on site all day, like shooting the shit, chat and breeze. You need that energy on sales call. You worked hospitality, you've dealt with fucking annoying bullshit customers, and you fucking still got them over the line to buy something. You worked in a bar, I know it's still hospitality, but you've upsold people on drinks. Worked on a super yacht, you just have you have high standards, high level of expertise. And if you're in traditional sales or recruitment or something like that, it's the same shit. We just package it differently. We get you on a job. Most of the people who are in Cowboy Closers who have got no experience, we can get them a job straight away because we know how to package what they've done previously with a fucking bulletproof mindset, big balls, and then they get the role. I digress. So then I worked in a bar in Val d'Isere. I worked there for 2 years, and I did a year before as a winter host, doing like evening entertainments for all of the guests and fucking around and copping on the bar and shit. But what I found was when I was working on the bar, I was always trying to upsell people, always trying to upsell people. Double, easy one. I have a vodka Red Bull. Double, right? They're always saying yes, you know? They're such an easy upsell. Then after that, I went to work on Super Yacht, and then obviously that's where I got a lot of my sort of standards from, realizing that fucking perfection like can be found in a lot of ways. When you work on a Super Yacht, you're getting paid well, and you're really getting pushed into making sure everything is perfect. After that, I moved to Mexico, and that's when my actual like full-time sales career started. So I moved to Mexico and became a timeshare salesperson. Um, Honestly, fucking, I think everyone who was there can say that I fucking crushed it. I blew everyone out of the park. Literally, my second, you do 2 weeks of training, then you do three training sessions per week. But after the 2 weeks of training, you're then like qualified to go and take a tour. These are in-person tours. And then the second tour that I did was a $29,000 deal. Most deals were like 10K max. I'm fucking banging on a fucking 30K. And it's because I challenged him. I challenged the fucking guy. I challenged him and his fucking, um, his lack of respectful energy, and especially towards his family. So I'm a big fan of the challenger sale. So the challenger will always win. And we've just had actually one of the guys in the community. I told him he was doing a pussy with prospects the other day, and he took it on board. He wrote a fucking note, and the next call he fucking closed a 5K deal. Like, bomb. That's fucking £500 in his pocket just for not being a pussy. So the challenger sale always wins. And then the timeshare journey went on for about a year, and I was consistently doing 100K in sales every month. And got the biggest deal of the year, which was 55K. Again, most people are doing between 4 and 10K deals. I'm getting 55K deals, 30K deals. Like, I'm doing bits. Unfortunately, I'm fucking bit of an addict at heart. So everything that I made, I spent, whether it was on fucking Gucci Sunnies, whether it was on Coke, whether it was on fucking mad parties, you know, whatever I could fucking spend it on, I would. And, this was part of the process in my mind and part of the beauty of growing up. Then after that, I actually went back to the UK and worked in recruitment for a short period. Wasn't really my thing, just did business development. Didn't really like it, but I was always like looking for that closer role. I was like, why are there no like closer roles that there are in timeshare? Like, just fucking give me a lead that's like got some interest, and I'll fucking close that bitch. You can't really find too much of it in the UK, to be honest, and that's where I'm from. So after doing that for a while, I was like, I don't like this. COVID hit, and I was like, what am I going to do? So for the short term, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go speak to my mate who's a tree surgeon. If anyone doesn't know what a tree surgeon is, like a lumberjack. So I jumped on and basically was a tree surgeon for a little bit, cutting down trees, putting the fucking bits in the chipper, dragging shit. Because for me, if I'm not going to be in a sales role where I'm like earning and use my brain, I need to be in a physical role because I want to stay fit and I want to stay in shape. And I've smoked forever, so staying in shape and working physically has always like helped offset the cigarettes. Sounds dumb, but it's true. After doing that for a while, my ex-girlfriend's brother was like, I'm a door-to-door sales guy. He was like, come with me. I was like, bomb. So we set up a door-to-door sales business, and we'd fly up and down the UK in my Jaguar and just knock doors. And we did lead generation. And I'll tell you why we did that. It's because you're either a lead generator, where you generate the leads for a closer to sit, or you're a closer. And at this time, it was COVID, and it was very, it was a very important part. People have been given furlough. So furlough is when the government was giving people free money. So people have got money for free. Okay, doesn't make sense, but all right. A lot of people are starting to work from home, so they got even more money. But you're not allowed to leave. So for us, a qualified leader was husband and wife both at home for the meeting. For us, every husband and every wife is going to be at home for those meetings because they're not allowed out. They've got a bit of extra cash because of furlough. They just want to talk to someone. So for us, we were like, we can make more money by banging in 10 meetings a day, getting like 5 of them to sit. Realistically, 50% is always going to be your sat rate, more or less. And then we're making like close to £500 a day just fucking creaming through these people, sometimes more, to be honest. And then you get a percentage of it sold as well. So we did that for about 6 months, and then the COVID restrictions stopped. And what I did is I saved my cash and I moved to Bali. When I moved to Bali was when I had the real moment of realization, or the aha moment, when I was like, you know what, like, how are these fucking people living it? You're either an influencer, which I wasn't, you're only an over or an OnlyFans model, which I wasn't, or an entrepreneur. which I hadn't really thought about too much, to be honest. So then I was always thinking, how can I do this? And I've obviously got loads of sales experience now. I've got like 2 years of solid sales experience. So maybe it was a year and a half by then, year and a half, whatever it was. No, recruitment as well. So yeah, at least 2.5 years of sales experience. I was like, I'll just start a cold call agency. So everyone in the UK, the only people that were open were real estate agents and removals companies. So they were the people that we targeted for social media. Because we were like, well, you can't go out, you can't like do any normal marketing. Let's just do social media. So I built a team of 4 of us. We were just banging the phones all day. And at the time, I was the only one that made any money because you got to be a dog in that industry. And after a while, I was like, no, fuck it. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to just enjoy myself. I want to do some modeling. I want to fucking go to different islands and have a little like fun extreme sports time. And then I ran out of money. Long story short, but that's how it goes. Then I moved back to the UK. I was like, I want to get either a sales job or a trading job. Again, sales for the brain and for the cash, and trading for the cash and for the physicality. Because for me, being a trader ain't bad. It's hard work, physical work, but you get out what you put in and you get paid well. So win-win. Basically, your own boss. So that time I became a tradie for about 6 months, and then I saved money, and then I moved to Mexico. When I moved to Mexico, I set up an Airbnb arbitrage business in Tulum with a friend of mine. We did that for a short period. In the end, it was just better that he did it on his own and had me in. I'm a wild partner, so like I'm better on my own or having like good people in consulting me than being a partner because I'm just a mad dog. I'm a stray dog that needs to get let off the lead. And then I went to work with my aunt, which was a timeshare insurance product. And when I worked with her, like, we secured a lot of big deals. We did a lot of training. We did a lot of everything. It was a really like transformative time for me because I'd already done phone sales, I'd done door-to-door sales, and then face-to-face timeshare sales. And then this was big B2B sales where I'm getting meetings booked in and closing deals with directors of like hotels for the Hyatt, the Wyndham, the Hilton, Iberostar, like big dogs, and in a face-to-face environment. I've always thrived in face to face, so I loved that. And then after that, I had the moment of realization again, and there's a common theme here. There's a lot of MORs, aha moments, I call them moments of realization. And that's when you think, oh, the penny drops. You're like, okay. So for me, the penny dropped that I am a fucking Mustang and I cannot work with people. Like people just won't let me run. And I like people to let me run. I want to fucking charge. I want to run through shit. I want to fucking take. I want to fucking be dominant. I want to be relentless. Like because all of these things I am, and I like to be them. And I feel like I'm caged if you don't let me do that. And with my aunt's business again, it was just always being caged. So I was like, you know what? I'll go back to the UK, and what I really want to do is have my own online business. That's all I want. I just want the freedom. I don't care about the fucking money. I don't care about swinging the dick to say that I do this, 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 and this. I just want to be confident that when I go abroad, I can live, make a few £1,000s. Realistically, you don't need more than £2,000 to £3,000 per month to live in Bali if you do it smart and you're not a fucking bellend. Like you can spend fucking 100 grand a month here if you wanted to. You don't have to. So I was like, I'm just gonna start an online business and I'm gonna graft until I can fucking do it. And it pissed me off because like what I didn't know back then was a mentor is someone that you pay to help to fucking get through all the bullshit way quicker than it would traditionally take. I didn't know that. I thought a mentor was someone that took you under their wing and said, you know what, mate, I'm going to give you my time for free because I have the spare time and I'm going to fucking make you a star. I thought that's what it was. And now I realize that all it is paid to play. Like whether you want to get into sales, drop shipping, fucking any of the other fucking online business methods, all you got to do is pay. I guarantee you, you pay, you put in the work, you get the outcome. And then it's just a game of snakes and ladders. And I still play the game. I spent $30,000 this year, US, on coaching from other people, from Alfred Robertson and his team, from Jack Hopkins and his team, and a couple other coaches as well that I've gone through that was for more burnout and personal branding as well. So for me, I know that I've now got these guys' WhatsApp numbers. Some of the biggest creators in the space, some of the biggest fucking people that I could be around, I now have direct contact with them because I just pay to play. I'm not saying that you just need to pay to play because you still got to put in the work. If you ever want to get anywhere in life, you want to ascend, if you want to go up, then just start having the mindset of, huh, I might spend a few thousand, but what I'll get is I'll get the knowledge, I'll get the access, and I'll get the network, and the money will follow because you become the person that can achieve that money before you make the money. As when you remember that, you're good. Anyway, so that was my thought processes was I'm just needing my own online business. So I went home and started in a software company as the SDR manager. So in sales, there are two types: B2C, B2B. B2B is business to business, B2C is business to customer. So easy example is, let's have a think. McDonald's is B2C. Hi mate, what do you want? Big Mac and fries? Yeah, bomb. So the business has sold them something to the customer. Bomb. Whereas B2B would be where McDonald's buy their beef. So they buy it in bulk. So they buy it from another business. That's B2B. B2C is to the customer. So for me, I then moved into a B2B SaaS company. SaaS is software as a service. You're selling software basically. A little program, a little dashboard, a web app into businesses, and it was reverse IP tracking. It's called lead forensics. Caused a bit of carnage there with my LinkedIn posts back in the day, but it's another story for another day. So for me, I was like, you know what? I've already got management skills. I've already got coaching skills. I've been in sales for quite a fucking while now, and they had a management job which paid well. So I went and managed a team of 15 youths and basically taught them everything I know about sales from a very timeshare perspective of just be relentless, be resilient, and be everything else in between. And we crushed it. We crushed it as a team. Some people made it, some people didn't. Most people came out the other side. And what they'll find is the hard, the can't even speak. The work was hard, but when people put in the work and they realize that the only reason I'm being hard on them is so that they get the outcome they want, they're very grateful afterwards because it does take hard work. There's an element of finesse as well, but it takes hard work. This is why a lot of people won't make it in online business or in life in general, because they're not willing to put in the work. They're not willing to embrace the suck. They're not willing to reframe what they're thinking as a benefit. This is really hard right now. This sucks. But you know what? This is going to make me the person I need to be. This means that everyone else who's at this point is going to fall off. That's how you're meant to reframe it. So I've always been looking to try and make the change. Always been pushing, always been pushing, always been pushing, always been pushing. And then when I was at Lead Forensics, I just crushed it. I gymmed hard, I worked hard. I would get there early. I would stay late. I was there until 10 p.m. Just fucking grinding, calling the US. So during the day, you call Europe, especially in the early days, because they say if you start at 8 o'clock, Europe were already open by then, like Germany and Sweden. So you call further in the time zone. Then the UK will open, and then the US. And I like the US, and I like Northern Europe, like Scandinavian countries. So I would crush it. And then from that point, I was like, yeah, this is like, I like this fix again. I like managing a team. I like teaching people. I love sales, but I'm not remote. And there was no way to go remote with that company. So then I was still thinking about how I want to do it. So I'll be honest, I started 5 different businesses. Western Boulevard, which was my content agency, not content agency. Western Boulevard, which was my clothing brand. Coco Social, which was my content agency. And I got Coco and Boulevard tattooed on my fingers to prove it. Boulevard, Coco. Then I started 2 import companies from Mexico. One was Ricea, and the other one was coffee. Then I started online fitness training for some people, and I also started a slabbing business. If you know what slabbing is, it's like exteriors, doing landscapes for people and building their gardens. And I started them all at the same time, and then I basically stopped working, took out fucking like 37,000 pounds worth of loans, personal loans, put them in a locked account for 2 years, and I was like, you know what? I'm fucking building a business right here, right now that fucking kills me. So I pumped like 10K into Western Boulevard. I pumped more money into other businesses, and I just tried them all at once. In hindsight, not the best idea. You try and spin 5 plates, just 20% on each plate. When I should have just focused on one and gone all in. And that was one of my biggest bits of advice to anyone. If you're going to pick something, go all in. Don't fucking try and do everything. But for me, I spent a lot of money and I fucking had a great time. Did photo shoots, built a fucking few sick outdoor gardens, landscapes. Was getting, coffee exported from Mexico into the UK and, doing tastes and stuff. And then in the end, I was just like, cool. What I like doing is content. And it's made me the most money, cost me the least, and the most fun. So that's what I continue to do. Coco Social is I push that. and made some decent cash. I think first month we did like 6K pounds. I was like, oof, rascal. And then I was like, I'm flying to Bali. I'm moving back to Bali. I was consulting on the side with a marketing company as well, and then I was doing content and sales for that. So I was like, perfect. I'm in the perfect position now. I'm fully remote. I think it took me a year to go from arriving in England to go fully remote, and I just locked in. I was locked in. I became retarded, locked in. Wish I'd recorded some of it because I was locked in. No smoking, no drinking, no women. Healthy food. One pizza on the weekend. A deep one. Occasional bit of chocolate, but like I was locked in. 20K running most days, like between 10 and 20K. Training Muay Thai on the weekend, gymming like fuck, doing legs every other day. Like I was locked in, locked in. And then when I moved to Bali, I was like, oh, okay, I can't really do content as much for brands because I was doing content for brands here. And you have a visa situation in Bali where you can't work on the ground here. So I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to change my idea. So I changed it to viral e-commerce ads like I'd done for you, productized service, pumped loads of money into ads and basically ran it dry. I didn't know what I was doing. I was going to go to Australia to go in the mines. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not fucking running from this. My goal was to fucking build an online business. I'm fucking doing it. So I made the commitment, started making content again. And you can actually see on my YouTube channel and you can see on my TikTok and Instagram is when I joined Anti. So Anti had three founders, Ash, Taylor, George. And I joined them as the sales guy. And basically they went from making basically zero money per month, like $300 to $30,000 as soon as I came in because I was like, I know how to sell your product, I know how to value your product, and I know how to fucking lead a team. So we 10x the price. I went at it on fucking sales. Within 3 weeks, I brought in one white label agency partner that gave us 25K per month for the next like 8 months, and about 8 independent brands as well from people that I knew, my network, LinkedIn, Slack channels, and such. So bomb, built a fucking six-figure business almost overnight, it would seem. But that was some years of learning sales, years of learning marketing, and years of just fucking leadership and management coaching. So then we run that. We run that for about 8 months before I had to leave. Me and the other founders just didn't get on. I wanted to do different things. Again, I'm a fucking bulldog. I'm a bull in a china shop. If I want to do something, I want to fucking do it. I'm not there to fuck around. And we were just like, you know what? Let's part ways. So I took some time off. I was very burnt out after that. Moved to Uluwatu, and from there, I got into remote sales. I've been in sales forever, and I'd just done remote sales and made fucking what was it? About 250K USD for the business in the past 8 months, and then I was out and I had nothing. I was like, oh, I know how to get a fucking sales job. I know how to sell. I know how to sell myself. So I'd met a girl in the gym. She was operations director for a big e-commerce course. So I messaged her. I met the sales manager. He didn't want to fucking hire me because my background was traditional. And I was like, you know what, fucking cunt? I'll fucking close every cunt. I don't give a fuck. So I found his email on LinkedIn for her personal and business. I put a fucking invitation in his calendar, and then I sent him a text because he wasn't replying. I was like, I've put a meeting in for this time and this date. I've used both of your emails. If this time doesn't work, let me know. Lo and behold, he comes to the meeting. I charm him. Bomb. First week, did 2.5K, closed like 5 deals or something, 60 or 70 deals, can't remember. 2.5K, bomb in my account. During, like, imagine in this time as well, I've already gone broke twice. Like, when I moved to Bali, when I was going to go to Oz and then join with the Anti boys, went broke. Then after I left Anti, went broke, and I had burnout for like a year and a half that time, and I filed for bankruptcy that year. So if you think you're fucking having a tough year, you probably are. But like, just remember, everyone else is having a fucking tough year, and everyone else is still putting in the work. If you can go broke twice in a year, file for bankruptcy, and be completely burnt out, and still fucking get after it, then I salute you, because there's a long, hard road ahead of you. And the day is always darkest before the dawn. So don't give up. Then after that, while I was in that company, that's when I started taking mentorship seriously. I started investing in myself. First, I spent 2.5 grand US on a personal branding coach. A month later, my fucking brand blew up. Then I bought into a healing coach, a spirituality coach, because I was like, something's not right in my brain. Still really burnt out. I don't know what's going on. And then after that, my burnout went and I got more fucking enlightened, let's say, and I became a bit more accepting of fucking life and a bit happier, to be honest. I think Cowboy Closers was born, and that's where we are now. Another six-figure business. And I cannot complain. Loving life and loving everyone that's in it. Trained about 100 people so far. And my most important ethos is like, it's not about your background, it's not about your circumstances, it's just how much motivation and how big your balls are to fucking make a change in your life. I can teach you everything and anything, but if you don't implement it and you don't believe that you can do it, then there's no chance that we're ever going to fucking make it. So that's a big part of what I teach and how I teach is you have the skills inside you. I'm just there to fucking unearth them. And when it comes to a role, the industry standard of closer is so low, like so low. If you imagine all of these fucking online businesses, B2B and B2C, all of them, all of them, all of them want to scale pretty much. And by scale, I mean grow. And the only way you can do that is by hiring salespeople to take the number of calls that they are. We call them leads. So someone who's an influencer or a business who run ads, you'll get leads. And these leads will be like, oh, I want to book a call. I want to find out about this. And then the founder can't take the calls all the time. So the founder will say, okay, let me employ a closer. I'll give them 10% commissions on everything they close. And every CC, they call it cash collected CC. Everything they close. If you get a PIF, paid in full, PIF, then if you get a PIF on a 5K deal, then you get £500 for a 1 hour call. Sometimes the call's going to be 30 minutes, sometimes it's going to be an hour and a half. Just depends how good you are and how resistant the person is to change. But for me, that's like the crux of remote sales and my story. And I know for me, I can get people a job yesterday. Like I said before, we've had like 6 roles get posted in the community last week. There's roles there. The role is not the hard thing. What a lot of people will do is they'll come in, they'll realize that they can get a job very easily and they'll go one or two ways. They'll either crush it and be like, I don't need help anymore, Connor. You're the best. Fucking 5, 10K a month. I'm like, sweet. Or they'll get on the road and realize, oh, I actually need some more skills. I need more development. And then we run it whichever way works for you, to be honest. And what I try and do is make sure people are very accountable. I'm not here going to just give you roles for the sake of it. I'm still going to teach you how to get a role. There's 6 different ways to get a role. My network from Instagram, people coming to me, the recruiters that I know that are actively hiring. There's one in the US and one in the UK, as well as that, LinkedIn, Facebook groups, traditional job boards like Indeed and LinkedIn. And then the final thing is building a brand on LinkedIn. 6. So many ways you can get a role, and I want to teach people how to do it because I believe that if you give a person a fish, they will eat for one day. If you teach the person how to fish, they'll eat for a lifetime. And that's what I want to do with remote sales is actually teach people the skills that are fucking last a lifetime as opposed to just like a flash in the pan, because at the end of the day it's my reputation and my name on the line. And really for me, like, remote sales was never like not an option. I didn't go to university. I studied sport at school. I was smart at school, but like all I wanted to do was sports, do fun trips, go surfing, skateboarding, BMXing, all of that shit. And it just opened up a world where I could live wherever I wanted and make money. And I'd already lived a very good life. I'd lived in Greece for a couple of years. I lived in France for a year and a half. I lived in Spain on the super yacht for about 6 months. Lived in Mexico for a total of 2 years. Lived in Bali for 6 months. Like, I lived a very good life, but it wasn't enough for me. I wanted the remote freedom. I wanted the full freedom. And really, what I would say to everyone watching this is like, really like set your expectations of what you need correctly. You don't need 10K a month. You don't need 20K a month. You need 2 to 4K a month realistically, because right now I guarantee most of people are earning between that range who are watching this. If you're not, perfect, we can get you fucking 10x. But if you are, 2 to 4K, if I told you you could earn the same amount of money fully remote and do less work, you'd do it 100%. When I was closing deals in the previous company, what I would not do is take loads of calls. I would take 4 calls a day max, and that would be in the morning. Because I was like, I want to live my life. I want to go to the beach. I want to read my book. I want to fucking do fun shit. I know that if I've got 4 calls, I'll close 1 or 2 of them, and I'll make between 500 and £1,000. Done deal. I don't need more than that. I want to have fun. So that's what I fucking did. And then from there, really, that was how it went. And that's why I say to people, like, lower your expectations, because you don't need fucking 20K a month. Yeah, it's nice. You hit a 50K a month, you're like, I'm a rascal. I'm a fucking sick cunt. This is pounds, by the way. When you hit those numbers, you're like, this is different level, but you're not there yet. Guarantee you right now, everyone who's watching this video, if I said you could earn the same amount of money fully remote and not work 8 to 10 hours a day, you would take it. So don't expect that you're going to come in and overnight you're going to make 10K. It doesn't happen. You're not ready for it. Your mindset isn't ready for it. You haven't worked for it yet. But look at some of the cowboy closers. TJ, no experience. He's already doing 5K a month. Marion ended up with 30K a month, she was an anomaly. She's an anomaly. Zach, closing fucking deals every fucking day. Crushing it. Maddie, she's making like 3K a week. Virginia, she did something ridiculous, like I think she did 8K for the month, but like 41K in cash collected for the business. So people can do it, but the people who put in the work can do it. And like I said, getting the role is easy. And that's what the problem that I see. People don't see another path. They hate their jobs and they see all these fucking influencers and gurus online. And I'm like, who would I even trust? So I try and be as fucking authentic and honest as possible because, like, if you want to work with me, you want to work with me. If you don't, you don't. I'm not going to lose sleep. There's plenty of people I know I can help. And if you're not willing to make a change, then nothing will change. And with so many people thinking sales is sexy nowadays, I'm trying to like break that understanding. It's like sales is fucking hard. Sales is the most mentally fucking tough game. That's why it pays the most. If you look at every successful business, there'll be a fucking gun salesman running at least 50% of that business. Most big businesses start with either a salesperson or a tech guy, usually both. And then they fucking run it together because the tech guy can't sell and the sales guy can't build a fucking product. So, sales is fucking key. And if you don't think it is, then just fucking Google it. One of the biggest films in the world, Wolf of Wall Street, is based on a fucking sales guy. Like, you'll be ready. And the sales game has changed. It's less sleazy than it was. Now it's a bit more about great questioning, having empathy, understanding people, unpacking people's problems, even delving into their traumas a little bit to help them make a change. Because really, I'm not selling, people are buying. And that's what people want to do. They want to buy, they don't want to fucking sell. They don't want to be sold to, I mean. So that's your job to make people feel that they're actually like there, they like it, they want to use it, and they can afford it. And I know I've unpacked it a little bit, but what remote sales actually is. So you're just helping business owners grow by guiding people to make decisions. There's two roles, setter and a closer. A setter will usually call the leads, 10, 15 minutes. Okay, cool. How are you? Or might be texting on Instagram. Yep, just to make sure you're still good for the call, blah, blah, blah. And then ask some qualifying questions to make sure the prospect is qualified. If the prospect isn't qualified, they're a bad fit, they're not in the right location, they don't have the money, they don't have the right setup to actually work, then they'll get rid of them. So then a closer is only talking to qualified people that are in the financial bracket they need to be, they're in the location they need to be, that actually need the service. So setter and closer. Traditionally, a setter will get about 5%, maybe a little basic. And closer will traditionally get 10%, and then they'll get a spiff or sales performance incentive fund, which is like a bonus when they close more deals. And really, they're paid to communicate and solve problems. That's it. And sales is a super skill. It teaches confidence, psychology, money management, communication. It builds like a personal power inside of you, and you don't need a fucking degree. It's the bridge between who you are now and who you want to be. And that's how I like to sell, is taking people from who they are now, making decisions as this person, when really right now, even you watching this here, who you are now is not the person you want to be. So can we all agree that the person you are now doesn't make decisions as well as the person you want to be? So when you make a decision, how about you make the decision based on the person you want to be, not the person you are now? Because if you keep on making decisions as the person you are now, you're not going to ascend. You'll only end up here. To get up here, you've got to make decisions as this person. And then when you do that, you'll rise to the top. Then once you get there, you do the same thing again. Make decisions as this person, and you rise, and you rise. It seems simple, and it is. But once you get it in your head and once you actually see it work, you'll realize how beneficial it is. But yeah, for me, it changed my life. Like, it made me a lot more stoic, made me better with women, made me better with my friends, better communicator. I could actually like talk about what I was thinking, how I was feeling. And it also got me a lot more well-rounded. I've traveled the world with this skill. I've lived abroad for a long time. It gives me discipline. It allows me to, you know, do calls in the morning, gym in the afternoon, and then surf when it's sunset, you know. And the emotional growth has been huge. Learning self-control and detachment from outcomes is massive. A lot of people are really like obsessed with the outcome. when really all you need to think about is the input that you have and detach from everything else. And you'll live a much happier life. And I guess I don't want to like touch too much on other courses because I don't fuck with what anyone else is doing. I know a few friends who are doing this, and I really like how they sell and how they teach. But I know from what I'm doing is no one's doing it like me. Like realistically, if you look at all the other sales guys, I'm probably like one of the most well-known salespeople in the world right now. Somehow, like I just know how to market, right? And I'm not going to do all my sales calls and put it on YouTube because I just don't want to do that. Like it's not why I'm here is to fucking show off how good I am. I'm like, you need to want to do this before we go anywhere. There's a couple calls on there that I've taken, one in the cigar lounge and one at a restaurant. Fucking eating food with my sunglasses on. I don't give a fuck. Like that's how I take calls. My whole framework is I don't give a fuck if you close. I I don't give a fuck at all. Like energy, and that's why people buy from whenever I'm selling something. It's because I'm not trying to sell anything. And what I find in a lot of industry courses, sales courses, is like they do fake scenarios. Like, oh, this is 100K a month close. I'm like, you're not, and you've just kneecapped all of your authority and credibility. These guys are young. Like you can go through my Instagram and look at the whole journey that I've just fucking told you. It's in my Instagram, it's in my reels, it's in my YouTube, it's in my fucking TikTok. Like some of it won't go as far back as Greece, but like all of it's there. When I was broke and I had £20 in my account, it's all on TikTok. It's all just sitting there. When I started Anti, my top performing fucking YouTube videos about going broke in Bali and landing 30K clients and a mindset shift. Like it's all there if you want to have a look at it. What I see with other people is like, one, they're not either not in shape. And I don't want to fucking take advice from someone who's not in shape. I just can't do it because I know you don't respect your body that much. And if you don't respect your body, you don't respect your mind. Or they just don't know the game. They fucking talk about these bullshit reframes, and really, all you need to do is dig in a discovery as hard as fuck. I'd rather spend an hour in discovery and have an objection that's closed than fuck around the whole time. But that comes from fucking being knowledgeable, that comes from being smart, and that comes from being able to dig properly. And the best closers I know, all they care about is the discovery. You need to know the objection handles, but for me, discovery is key. And to be honest, if you want to have a look at the other courses, fine. I know that none of them have a personal brand. I know that none of them have a personality. They all run ads and they all fucking tell you, yep, you can do this. And if you pay now, I'll give you a discount. I don't do discounts. I don't do fucking deals like that because I know my value and I know what I can bring to everyone. I know the value of the community. The community at the moment has got 60 people. And honestly, we're just growing and growing. It's global community. We've got people from Brazil, people from Canada, people from the States, England, Sweden, Netherlands. Who else we got? Australians, Kiwis. We've got someone from Singapore. There might be someone from Dubai and India. Like we've got a whole range, and everyone's a bit of a fucking outlaw, a bit of a misfit. But it's fucking good because everyone wants it. No one's really been accepted in their life. They were never like the classic person. They were just the fucking outlaw of the family, the black sheep. And I feel like a lot of people feel like that. And that's like where this has become like a proper home and a proper community because it makes space for people who weren't accepted. And for me, I don't see that in the industry now. Everyone's fucking telling about objection handles. I'm like, bro, I'm like, give these people a fucking job and let them learn on the job. All of these companies will have sales training. I'm giving you as much as I think that you need to begin with, but like my primary focus is for you to get a job because then we break that first limiting belief of there are no jobs or it's hard to get a job. Not hard to get a job, hard to close. So for me, what I want to do is build the bridge that connects your belief to your skill, my community, and then comes the fucking money. Because for me, I don't just teach sales, I teach freedom. I teach mindset. I teach discipline. I teach fucking high standards. I teach accountability. I teach becoming a fucking high value person. Like, I want to build a fucking movement of not only closers, but business owners, high net worth individuals who want to live life on their terms. And that's what the fucking network at the moment is the fucking best closers. People who are always hiring, people who are building businesses, people who are getting after it because that energy is infectious and a rising tide raises all boats. So really like just a question for you. I know we're getting on, but like imagine yourself in 6 months' time. You're here now, unsure what you're doing, you're fucking thinking about it. Dead energy to start with. But imagine 6 months from now when you finally take a step, closing deals, and you've just moved to Bali. We've just done a community meetup. We've just gone for steaks in the evening. Went for a surf during the day. There's fucking 40 of us all fucking gathered together, just having it out, drinking coconuts, fucking recording content, closing deals. Imagine that. Seems fucking like it can never happen. It's only because your mind isn't believing that it could happen. Everything is in here. Anything that you say, anything that you think will happen. So if you believe it enough, it will fucking happen. So paint the picture of the confident you with the good income and it will come. Cool. Just some value before we move like straight into the rest of the free course. There's three phases of transformation. The first is the mindset, and that is the belief that you can change. So if you don't believe you can change, you got to go do some work. And if you can, you're in the right place. The next is the skill set. So you're actually going to learn how to sell. And the last is the environment. You want to surround yourself with other fucking closers, with other people that are getting after it. And for me, I know everyone's going to have a fucking excuse. I hear it for every fucking day. I get shit done now. I get shit done today because I'm not waiting for tomorrow. I'm not waiting for next year. You don't need fucking experience. You need commitment. The longer you wait, the longer you stay average. And if you want to stay average, fine. But I don't fuck with average. And then at the end of the day, it's just how you reframe your mind. You're not an employee anymore. You're not a pussy anymore. You're not a fucking piece of shit on someone else's shoe. Because right now, you need to fucking be a communicator. You need to be a creator. You need to be a closer. You need to be a fucking gangster. At the end of the day, you need to take over. No one's coming to save you. Your family aren't going to give you handouts. None of your mates are going to fucking help you get there. They might give you some support, but no one's going to fucking make you the person you need to be. And that's the biggest reframe is the person you are now is not the person that makes 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100K a month. It's just not. There was no way. You have to fucking break down. You have to grow. You have to break down. You have to grow. You have to be like a phoenix. And you just get burnt into ash and then you regrow. And the quicker you can do that, the quicker you can ascend and make it to where you want to be. So yeah, if you want to learn this step by step with me, there's going to be a free course that's going to bolt onto this. This is just the first intro. If you have any more questions or you want to take this more seriously, you can go into the free mini course that I've also linked about how to get a 5-figure role on LinkedIn. And if you really want to fucking take it seriously and you really want to get proper mentorship and really want to be in the community, then you can DM me on Instagram, Closer, CLOSER, and then you can speak to the team about how you can actually get involved. So apart from that, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to keep these nice and raw because, like, again, I like shit done today. I don't want to fuck around. For you guys to have all of this information today is way more valuable than in a year's time when I've got a fucking proper camera crew and I've properly scripted it. It's like, let's just fucking run this shit. I've got all the information in here. You've got a laptop, you've got a phone, you can take it all in and you can fucking run it. Anyway, subscribe, fucking like everything, do your fucking thing. See you in a bit. My name's Connor West and let's fucking take over the world.